All right, my friends, welcome to episode 246 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry, the professor at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Over there is Anthony, the dev at SummerSpeak on Twitter, and we have our friends Travis and Brad here. And Brad can speak to how often I use Twitter. I think I just responded to a message he put out in February.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
way to manage the social medias.
I'm super good at it. I really am. So this week we are talking about the future of gaming, the PS5 reveal event that happened on Thursday, given our reactions to everything down the line, and we'll culminate with our reactions to the box, which I'm interested to have that conversation.
I'm just laughing now because that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. So the whole thing started with a Rockstar logo. I don't know what you guys thought when you saw that.
GTA, honestly, GTA 6 or something like that. Or a spin-off. Or actually, I thought maybe Bully, potentially.
Oh, yeah,
because
there's
always been those rumors of a Bully sequel, which have never amounted to anything and continue to amount to nothing. But that's where my head went, not what we got. Yeah.
I mean, my comment goes with, obviously, I completely forgot. I wasn't expecting anything from them, considering the fact they seem to not really produce anything except for the same game for the past 8 years.
And you're going to get the same game again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as we just said, I obviously forgot that it even showed up because I was looking at the list and going, wait, that was the first game they showed? Because I totally blacked that one out.
Yeah,
I wonder if they're going to add some kind of new feature or game mode that only on the PlayStation 5 because it's only available there, or the hardware cannot handle it. And then here come all the people that are addicted to that game.
They'll block modding.
Yeah, play on PC in that case.
Yeah.
Well, they said they'll have feature enhancements, which I think speaks to the hardware, but then also it will be expanded. So I don't know if that means like that single-player story mode that they had on the back burner for a long time that they canceled in favor of GTA Online, or what.
Maybe. It didn't 4 get 2 single-player DLCs?
Right, that was the plan, right?
It was like the biker gang, if I forget what it's called. They got that expansion, and then the Ballad of Gay Tony.
Right.
I guess the other news of this is that GTA Online is going to be free to PS5 owners, but I don't play GTA 5. I thought GTA Online was already free.
It might be that it's there at launch, maybe, and it's there ready to go, and then you get extra currency. I don't know. There was something there.
You're talking to the wrong person. I gave up on GTA a
play
long time ago.
Yeah.
It's either GTA Online is free as long as you have the base game. Maybe they're saying you don't even need the base game, because then GTA Online just makes so much money for Rockstar that they want everyone.
Yeah, could go like the StarCraft route where multiplayer is free, but you got to pay to play the campaign.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. So that was a head fake.
Since 4, so.
Well, we all have it from Epic, and I don't think any of us have loaded it up. But
I didn't even bother getting it from Epic because I know I would never load it up. So I was like, why am I going to waste even add to my catalog?
So you got to collect them all.
Yeah, I'm horrible at Pokemon games too. Let's be real, dude. I just get through the story and I'm out.
It's better than me. I haven't even. This is going way off topic, but I haven't touched a Pokemon game until Sun and Moon, and I didn't beat it.
I thought you beat that game.
No.
Huh.
I came close. I was towards the end. I just never beat it. My kids got tired of it, so I stopped playing it because I was mostly playing it while they were watching because it was for them. And then we have Sword and Shield, and my kids put some into it, but they seem to have moved past the Pokemons, so not playing that. So yeah, completely missed the Pokemon train. But moving on though, I did not miss the next train. So the next game actually was exciting. So how many people thought? I thought it was Spider-Man when it first started.
I thought it was Spider-Man when it first started, and then got super excited 5 seconds later when I realized it was Miles.
Yeah.
And then I think I told Larry this afterwards. That sold the system for me. Like, the PS5 was not going to be a day one purchase for me. I was like, I can wait a year. I saw that. I'm like, okay, this just became a day one. I have to have a PS5 this coming fall.
Yeah. And then, of course, some European exec called it an expansion.
The EVP of something in Europe,
Sony Europe,
for Insomniac, turned around and said that it was more like an expansion or extension of the PS4 version, and all hell broke loose. Because I was sitting there going,
then Insomniac actually posted a tweet and everything going like, it is not an expansion. It's its own game, but it's not a full sequel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And as I said in the Twitter thread that we had, or text thread, someone needs to go slap that EVP. He shouldn't have opened his mouth if he's not going to give the right information, because he crushed my dreams for the first 6 hours that morning until Insomniac came out and said, no, this is a full game.
Yeah, it's its own separate full game. It's not Spider-Man 2. If anything, this is set up for Spider-Man 2, because of that one's how far in. Does anyone played it? It doesn't care about spoilers or cares about spoilers.
I think Brad and Travis have beat it, and I'm about 2/3 of the way through. So, and
I've gotten the platinum on it. So
I know.
I haven't beat it.
But the end, it's sets up Miles
right
as like a main kind of protagonist.
Which, like right now, you take away the current political climate and everything. That's still an amazing thing, just based off of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh my god, totally.
Like Miles was such a good Spider-Man.
Right, in the comics and everything, but then you have that movie, and then you just set it up, and then you see how well that's received, and you wonder, okay, when are you just going to take this and run everywhere else? And Insomniac is doing that, which is absolutely amazing, because, what was it, a week ago, they announced that they finally started production on Into the Spider-Verse 2.
Right.
Yep.
So it was like, okay, they just announced the Spider-Verse 2 is coming. Well, they announced that they were doing it, but they just announced that they started it, and then Insomniac just rides that hype train right after it. Yeah.
Yep.
Kudos to them across the board.
Well, and I feel like this sets up the sequel, and the fact that this is Miles's game really sets up his character even more, and then whatever Spider-Man 2 has some form of mix to Peter and Miles.
Right.
Spider-Man, like, do you choose to play one, or is Peter just in a very strong supporting role as the mentor? Like, does it set that up? There's just a lot of. I feel like this is just the natural progression of their story. So,
yeah. Or co-op between the two. You play as which Spider-Man or Spider-Man.
Oh my god, that's rad.
Spider-Man.
Or a co-op play. One person can be Peter, and the other one can be Miles at the same time.
Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun.
That would be a riot.
Yeah, I want Spider-Ham, but that still sounds pretty good.
Well, that's the other thing is,
give me Spider-Gwen.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, right.
Those comics were amazing. I love the Spider-Gwen comics.
Yeah, you read those with your daughter, right?
Yeah, she read some of them, and then because our library had them, so I was able to just get the first 4 or 5 volumes.
Right.
And they were really well done. I was pretty impressed.
Well, I was excited, and the way that this, just because of how quick it's been less than 2 years since Spider-Man came out, I just immediately thought this was like a Lost Legacy kind of thing, which Lost Legacy was building off of Uncharted 4, totally different story, totally different characters, and it was like a 10 to 14 hour experience, or maybe 8 to 12 actually, but it's good. Oh, it seems like a right, and what Travis said about this being a system seller, I was talking to my brother for the first time in fucking however many years, and he's an Xbox guy and he wants to get the Series X, but when he saw the reveal for Spider-Man, he said, nope, I'm going to get the PS5.
Okay.
Again, Sony, system exclusives, it looks like they're already poised to knock it out of the park.
Well, there was, I think, 5 exclusives in the Xbox reveal, which I'm sure they have more to reveal, but there were 12 or 11 in this one for PS5.
Yeah.
So if you're just counting numbers.
Like I said, I feel like we've talked about this before. It's just Microsoft has spent time buying up studios recently. They're just not going to have anything ready for launch, is the thing. It's probably their exclusive. A lot of their exclusives are going to come online in the first couple of years. Sony has enough studios that they're going to have. They have a lot they could reveal now on exclusives. So
right.
Yeah, that'll be what sells systems. Is do they have games at day one?
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they're gonna have Halo Infinite, right? That's got to be day one. Otherwise, they're fucked.
But
no, based on recruiters I talked to before starting at System Era, yes, it is likely day one.
Yeah.
They could, of course, tell me that, but they're like, oh, this contract for this job ends in the fall when the game finishes. You're like, oh, wonder what's going on there.
The next game on the list, I'm not sure if any of the four of us were stoked about it. They always show these kind of games to show off new tech. It's Gran Turismo 7, which looks like a great car game.
Oh, hell yeah.
I thoroughly love the first
hours.
Yeah, the first 3 or 4 I love the living crap out of. It just gets to the point where when you start trying to do some of those licenses, you basically have to become a dedicated player to get some of those licenses, because they are no joke. You need to be better than what I was willing to put the effort in.
Yeah.
But seeing the breadth of cars that were available, yeah, there's a pretty good chance I'll be grabbing this one and giving it a go.
Yeah, I don't think it's definitely one that I'm like, oh, would I buy a PS5 only for this game? No. If I own a PS5, this is probably in my library and gets played.
Huh. All right.
Yeah,
I stand corrected.
I'm in the same boat. This wouldn't have sold.
You don't remember how much time I played Gran Turismo and Gran Turismo 2 back on the PS1?
Oh, obviously not.
Larry doesn't. I know Travis does.
I do, because you and I used to have conversations about trying to get some of the licenses. There was days where you'd come over to my place and we'd just spend hours trying to get a license, or I'd go over to your place and we'd spend hours trying to get the same. There was that one license that we couldn't get. No matter, I was like, oh my god! And I remember we got the braking thing done for one of them after trying for 3 hours, and we lost our shit. That we finally did it, and then we were like, how'd you do that? I don't know. I'm never going to be able to do it again. So it's good that's a one and done, and we move on.
Yeah. I don't know if I played. No, I have all of them until Sport. I haven't played Sport.
I think I played up through GT4.
I think that might be.
That was never my bag.
I don't know. I'm not a huge racing game person, but these are the racing game that grabbed me always, because of just as Travis said, the breadth of cars available in the games is huge. And the career mode, like, it just grabbed me with the career mode and tweaking your car and upgrading and getting, I don't know, money, the whole thing. It was the right type of racing game for me. Like, and yes, it's super realistic in simulation. Like, yeah,
that's the thing that does not appeal to me. Versus like Forza Horizon, which is not so much like that. It's a lot more arcadey, and I find that more my wheelhouse if I do play a racing game. But if I'm honestly, to be perfectly frank, if I'm playing a racing game, it's fucking Mario Kart. So that's my speed for racing.
I was always a Burnout 3 fan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love Burnout 3. Don't get me wrong. Burnout 3 was so good.
I think I played more of Crash mode than anything else.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's what everyone did, right?
Yeah.
Played the shit out of Crash mode.
A big inspiration for Peggle back in the day.
Crash mode?
Huh. Just Burnout, like the.
Oh, Burnout. Yeah, okay.
The reason, like, an inspiration point, we were playing a ton of Burnout 3 and PopCap at the time. And so, like, Peggle, it does the slow down for the last peg and Ode to Joy. It was totally because Burnout 3 did the slow-mo as you crash cars.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just being like, this is really cool. We make it really dramatic when we hit the last peg.
That's a really cool moment in Peggle. That's really fun.
And that's the whole thing. You can take a lot from different games. But yeah. So yeah, if I own a PS5, I'll probably own this game when it comes out.
Which means you'll probably own this game.
Which means you'll own this game. Because you're day one, because you never got a Pro, right? You're day one on this?
Yeah, most likely day one, if I can get one. It's likely. So I think the next game, though, was... So Gran Turismo 7, all the visuals, amazing. I'm pretty sure they're ray tracing, reflections, and there's all sorts of crazy visual stuff going on. No. The Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart shows the power of the SSD.
Dude, this thing was my game of the fucking entire conference. Like, just... before I ramble, tell us why you say that, Anthony.
because it was in real time jumping between those completely different worlds and not having to load or show black screens or anything. You go through a rift, completely different assets available.
Right.
Nothing reused. This truly shows the power of what their SSD architecture can do for games. And then the question comes up if you're like, is this real time? Is this really running? There's a couple times it hitches in that trailer. They don't hide it. It like hiccups slightly. It's real. Like, this was actually done on that hardware, or at least most likely.
And Insomniac's second game on the list already.
Can you believe that? Like, I know they have different teams and such. There's like a North Carolina team and there's a Burbank team, but fuck, those are two huge games. I know that the lengthwise of Spider-Man's shorter, but those are two seriously impressive games. Then just to like bang out right at the beginning, like get past GT, whatever, fuck, get to Spider-Man and fucking Ratchet and Clank. I was done. I'm like, all right, I'm good. This is the best conference.
Yeah.
It just looks beautiful. Like, if you compare, like Brad sent that video before, there's a comparison from Game Ranks showing PS4 versus PS5 graphics, and it showed the Ratchet and Clank remake on PS4 versus some of the footage from PS5, and it's just like, it's stunning how much shit is on screen, how dense it is, how quickly you go between the worlds when you flip through the rifts. I think that game more than anything else shows how much fucking, like you said, how much power this fucking console has.
Yeah.
Yes, but I think another game later on does a really, really good job of showing it too. And I'm not going to talk about that game right now because it's going to be a big one later, I already know.
Yeah.
When I first saw the Ratchet and Clank, I was, like, to Anthony's point about showing the power of flipping through the different worlds, at first I was sitting there going, dude, this is a cutscene. That's what I'm watching. So I'm like, yeah, this is great, but this is pre-done. Like, this is easy to do with the cutscene. Does it look awesome? Yes. And then when they actually started doing the gameplay and saw him jumping, I was like, oh shit, they literally did this for real, not just kind of half-assed it in cutscenes and only let you do it there. They literally put it in the game, which that was mind-blowing to me.
Yeah. And you talk about quality, it actually, I think, looks better than the movie that came out.
Yeah, I think so. Like the way
the rendering, I'm just like, holy shit.
I mean, it's partially hard for me because part of it is like just feeling so impressed that it's on the fly, but I thought it looked as good, if not better, than the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I kind of didn't pay attention because I was just excited for another Ratchet game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting another Ratchet game, actually.
I think mainly because I didn't watch it live, so I watched it later. So as soon as I saw something where I'm like, okay, I got the info I need, I just skipped ahead.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, new Ratchet, cool. Because for most of the consoles, I'm going to be a day one buyer anyway, so it's not like I have to look for something to sell me.
Right. That's interesting because for me, I was thinking I still have a lot of juice to kind of squeeze out of the PS4 with my backlog and whatever else. Like I might wait, like Travis was saying, wait a year, mainly for stupid reasons, hoping there would be like a blue console or whatever. But thinking I probably didn't need to jump in, and then I think I'm convinced after this conference that I really want to try to get one day one. But I don't know if Ratchet and Clank, did they give a date on that one? Is that even
No. I don't think it's a launch game.
Yeah.
And even the Spider-Man, they just said holiday 2020.
That's probably that holiday.
Probably. Yeah, probably launch.
Yeah.
But
because GTA 5 was 2021.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is sad that a game that's been around for how many years and on how many different platforms can't be a day one release for the system. But
and
something
especially for
brand
the
new.
size of the team, like I don't see why they're waiting on that. But
they want to keep giving $1 million of GTA bucks to people because they're going to give them away to PS4 owners until that comes out, I guess.
Yeah.
The next game on the list is something that's a Square Enix joint in that it's Project X. This is Project Athia, which had like a werewolf kind of creature, right? Like flying around. It was platforming, like a female protagonist, and they're like werewolf and like enemies or whatever. It looked good, but I don't know what it was.
I think it's running. So I watched this trailer a couple times. Part of me wants to think this might actually be running the whatever engine Final Fantasy 15 was running. It kind of looks like that type of engine. And Luminous Productions did I had to look it up before. They were the ones who handled Final Fantasy 15 for Stadia.
Oh, okay.
They are a team that handled that. I don't know. It's a Square Enix project thing. This thing could never come out. I don't know.
Or it could be Final Fantasy 16.
It could be. I don't know. That's the thing. It's a project. Anytime Square Enix says project something, it's flip of a coin if it ever sees the light of day. And then another flip of the coin if it comes out in 5 years or less. So it looked pretty. It looked fine. I don't know.
Well, it also had a designed exclusively for PlayStation 5 in the trailer, and then the after trailer, the after event marketing just says designed for PlayStation 5. All words seems like it's a timed exclusive, not an actual exclusive.
Yeah. I would expect almost all third-party stuff is just timed now, for the most part. Or timed or PC and PS5 at launch. That typically is how deals are done now. No one outside of a rare few care to have that money up front like that. So especially Square. Square's going to be like, no, we're not. You're going to have to. No one's going to pay them that amount of money.
Right.
So,
they want to get it from all platforms.
Pure exclusive for forever.
I guess except for Final Fantasy 7, right?
But that's still. I think that's timed.
I think it's a timed.
Like it's coming to Xbox, really?
Why not? It's coming to PC eventually.
Yeah, I know that for sure.
If it comes to PC, it's going to end up on Xbox 9 times out of 10.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure it was
the
just
only
the
thing
time.
that's weird with 7, any type of thing with 7, is that Sony was the actual publisher for Final Fantasy 7.
Right. That's why I feel like
before Square was a publisher. But I know people talked about it coming to PC.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, I can see PC. It doesn't resonate with me for it to come on Xbox simply because 7's never been on Xbox. Even the remakes, like the remasters or whatever, have not been on Xbox.
Maybe they want that Xbox money.
I mean, they should. They should.
That's the thing with it. They really might not be able to.
No.
Right.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say legally what they can do with that. Like, it's the same reason. Like 7.
Wait, did 7? Am I wrong? Did 7? Because I know it came to the remaster or whatever came to Switch. Did it come to Xbox? Am I wrong?
It might have.
I'm gonna Google this real fast while you guys keep talking.
It could have. Like, there's weird legal reasons on like where they can take things.
I just looked at the Project Athia and I was like, please make this a legit game, because it actually reminded me somewhat of the Unreal Engine 5 demo that they did, and with just the kind of the exploration and the way the main female protagonist moved through it. It just reminded me of that tech demo, and we had this conversation before. I was like, well, please make that tech demo in the game because I want to play that. And so I got really excited when I saw this because it reminded me so much of that. And I was like, oh, maybe I will get a version of it, hopefully. But then Square Enix and everything else is like, well, it might just be nothing more than a demo and we never see the light of day.
Yeah, it's hard to say right now.
Gonna sneak in here real fast.
7 did come out on.
It did, on Xbox.
Yeah.
It came out in 2019 when it came out on Switch. So they ported it to Xbox One. So maybe the remake will too.
Yeah, eventually. There's nothing listing I can see on the remake, though. They haven't talked about it on Xbox, but yep. We'll see. It looks.
All I find on it is the Final Fantasy VII Remake is exclusive to PS4 until April 2021. But Square Enix hasn't confirmed officially if it'll ever make it to the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Or PC for that matter. They haven't confirmed PC either, so.
Yeah, they're not going to confirm anything for a while. Who knows? It might be coming to these new consoles then. So.
Yeah. And that big dragon at the end made me excited for it.
Yeah. It looked really good, though.
Yeah, it sure did.
I mean, I think that can be pretty standard for almost all the games here. They look really good. Visually. The next game, Stray, was awesome. Was watching the trailer and realizing, oh, you play as the cat.
Yes. That's what I thought was Brad's game of the year.
Done.
I don't know why so many people were surprised by that, because watching that, and maybe it's just me, the cat looked slightly different in the entire trailer. Like, it just didn't look like it was part of it. Basically, the way it was moving just felt a little out of sync compared to the robot. So to me, I immediately cut on like, oh, you play the cat the second I saw the cat start moving. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Was it that the cat had a backpack?
No, before the cat, because when you first see the cat, there's no backpack on it.
Yeah, it was like a black cat, I think.
Yeah, you have to play the cat, and then it walked back out with the backpack on. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you definitely play as a cat.
Cat. I mean, that just sells it for me. I'm like, cool. I'll play a cat wandering a robot city.
Especially if I get to push stuff off of shelves and everything else.
Yep.
It's HD cat lateral damage.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Hey, I'm game.
It is so fun at this point, going into a console cycle, because everything, like, it's just all potential. You're not haven't been disappointed by like hype that hasn't been met, so everything could just be fucking awesome, and this is one of the ones that like could go either way, but it looks really good.
I mean, I've tended to like. I don't expect it's probably going to be a huge game overall, based on like other games Annapurna has put out. They usually put out smaller indie games, but they've put out quality games. So
I look as if I get something similar to the whole concept around Journey as a game where it's more exploration and you just kind of go from point A to point B in your own way.
Yeah,
I'm good with that. Like Journey is a game that I absolutely love. I still play that game to this day, just because of the exploration. If that's the same thing that Stray is, I'm in full bore.
Yeah, an adventure game as a cat. Yeah, that maybe I can. Maybe my wife will actually want to play this one.
I give it good odds. She'll at least watch you play it, if not try herself.
I'm sure the cat will have something horrible happen to it while she searches for a button on the controller.
And she'll turn around and never watch again. Housemarque is in this. They formally eschewed their arcade roots by saying people aren't buying these games, so we're making other games. And they have this game called Returnal, which is something like an alien planet, right? Where this female protagonist goes out and shoots stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about getting rid of their arcade roots there. When they did show gameplay in there, I was like, you can see that the arcade background of Housemarque.
Dude, it looked like a Housemarque game there. It was very arcadey in terms of like getting, bullet hell kind of thing, just in a 3D, a third-person shooter kind of game.
Yeah, I don't have a huge opinion of it. I've liked Housemarque's games, but I don't know. I finished it being like, I'm intrigued, but I need to see more.
I would need to see reviews. I mean, I like Housemarque games, Nex Machina and Resogun specifically, but they're a totally different style of game that I'm not. Yeah. I'm waiting for reviews for sure.
It does kind of look like Ikaruga and Mass Effect had a love child.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. That explains old Housemarque and whatever they're doing here. If they had like the romancing options of Mass Effect, maybe I'd be in.
I didn't know what to make of this game. I don't know. It's just maybe because we don't know that much about it, because they didn't really give us that much about it.
Right.
So this is one of those games that it piqued my interest, but it's something I'm definitely going to wait until it's out and people have played it to kind of understand what it is and what's going on.
Right.
It's one of those games I hope that they actually release a demo first. But I have a sneaking suspicion they won't.
Wonder if we'll see the return of all games having demos in this next generation. Well, I think there's been a lot of press about how they don't sell games, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you do something like EA did to Anthem, the demo's not going to do you any good.
No, but your game's got to be good for sure.
But then if you look at it like Neo, for both the Neos 1 and 2 have had multiple demo/beta releases. And those games have done well, mostly because they took the player feedback from it and they built upon it. So it can be done, and it can be done right. It's just most people dump a demo and don't ever listen to what the consumer's saying. They just dump it and say, hey, here it is, take it or leave it.
Or to have the Octopath Traveler style, where it's more, here's a taste of the game, and if you like it, you're just going to pick up where you left off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Dragon Quest XI did that. You played like 10 or 12 hours of the fucking game in the demo, and then just carried over to the real game.
Yep. But like, hey, you made it this far. You probably like this game. Here you go.
Right.
So yeah, we'll wait to see on that one. I'm waiting to see on the next one too. Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
Me too.
I'm like, whatever. I'm not a huge Little Big Planet person. I don't care. So.
Yeah, I'm
not the one to talk here. I don't play a lot of 3D platformers at all.
Platformers are my jam. I love platformers, 3D platformers. I've never gotten into Little Big Planet. The platforming doesn't feel tight to me, like Mario does, or even Celeste. But I'm interested if they're going to kind of eschew or get rid of the let's make a build a level, and at least I assume that's what they're doing, and just basically aping Mario 3D World. See what they can do. I just Sumo Digital doesn't really ring my bell, so I'm gonna wait for reviews.
I love platform games, but I own the first Little Big Planet. I played a little bit of I can't do it. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it's the controls and how they I think to your point, Larry, it just doesn't feel that tight while doing it.
Right.
It feels like you're just your character's just kind of flopping through the platform and the level, which it doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't have that response that I need to enjoy those types of games.
And this one might have a little bit of a difference. Instead of kind of being piggybacking off the world building, if they actually focus on at platforming.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they just stick to level design and making this a really fun platformer. Because it could be, I don't know if it's going to be a $60 game or, a more budget title, but if they focus on good level design, it could be something fun. I know that's something, it's interesting. The thing that really struck me with the Xbox reveal versus this one is there's kind of there's something for everyone here. And I'm kind of looking at this now in terms of like games that are fun for me and games that I can introduce to my daughter. And on the Xbox side, I didn't really see anything that was, that I could play with my daughter. But on this side, like Sackboy and a couple others are things that at least I would look at to see if they are games that I could play with her.
And that along those lines, there's things of all genres in here. It didn't feel like they just jumped from one type of game to the next. There was no cohesive story of this is an RPG or this is a FPS or anything. They were everywhere, which again the Xbox one didn't have that feeling to it at all. So
I'm just thinking about gamers who've gotten older, like we all have, and some people who have started families and are trying to think can I justify getting this just for me? Oh well, there's things for my kids as well. I want to introduce them to games. This is the one I would get. If I were thinking about a system that would have a dual purpose for me and my young child, it would be the PlayStation, based on this opening event versus Xbox's last month.
Yeah. Next we have Destruction All Stars, which I think that we were talking about was it's a Destruction Derby crossed with Smash Brothers, basically. As far as I can tell.
Your driver can get out of the car and I guess fight other drivers?
Well, maybe.
I don't. Or jump on the cars too.
Yeah, jump on the cars, right?
At first I thought it was an updated version of Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see the characters running around the arena. I'm like, what? Well, I mean, it's piqued my interest. I definitely want to see what this turns out to be. But it's Smash Brothers and Twisted Metal slammed into the same game.
Yeah, I feel like it'll just be a really fun multiplayer game. Really.
Yeah. With how Rocket League took off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Think about it like Rocket League. If it could be the quick 5 minutes of fun like that, it's just the thing with the drivers out of their cars wasn't really explained. So I think that's what's taking a lot of people, giving them a little bit of a pause. What the fuck is this?
I think it could be a fun one for the four of us to get on because I guess I'm the odd man out here not having Rocket League. I don't know. So this could be the one that ends up being a group thing for. Yeah.
We'll get that rectified. We'll get you Rocket League.
we should get him Rocket League. Yeah, because it's fucking fun. The next game, I'd never heard of it, took me by surprise, and it's one of the ones that really stood out for me in this whole. I keep wanting to say direct. It's not a direct. The Kena Bridge of Spirits. I've never heard of Ember Lab, but it's a female protagonist who does magic, right? And it's platforming and discovery and exploration and shit.
And commanding little beings to do tasks.
Right. It's fucking Pikmin.
3D Pikmin. So there's a Pikmin adventure-ish, RPG-ish thing going on here. I don't know.
So this game piqued my interest. I was really excited about this because it looks like a lot of fun. My concern is this is their first game. Ember Lab does not do games. They do animation and digital content.
That's right.
But they're not a gaming studio whatsoever. So I'm kind of curious to see how that pans out. I hope this turns out to be half as good as it looks, because it looks like a ton of fun, and I think it could be an amazing game. But there's that hesitation I have right now.
I mean, that animation sticks out quite a bit whenever they show the little cutscene situations. It really looks good.
The thing about it, like, now you say that what their background is, that totally makes sense why their animations, like character animations and creature animations, were so good.
Yeah. I actually have it playing in the background right now while we're talking about it. I have the direct, or whatever you want to call it, the Future of Gaming show playing on my computer in the background, muted to where I can see it. And the animation on this is mind-blowing for a game. But even in the gameplay, I just hope that they're able to make that all work together, because there's so much more to it than just the animations.
Right.
I know I'm getting a little bit of Ori vibes from all the kind of bring back the life to the woods.
So good.
Then Pikmin for obvious reasons, and a little bit of God of War for what looks like that just action gameplay style.
That's a mix of three really great things.
I was going to say, and everything, all three games you just mentioned there are great games or franchises in there. I guess you can call it Ori a franchise now, or going to be.
Yeah. Well, it's got the second game out already, so why not?
Yeah. And you pretty much know that Microsoft's going to keep pushing that as far as they can, because it's been an amazing game for them across the board. So yeah, three great franchises, we'll say, for the most part. And if they can mash that, that's good. This is going to be like a sleeper hit, period.
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's just, can they stick the landing on this one? Can they bring the gameplay?
Exactly. Next one, I think this is get into gameplay. Not so much. Goodbye Volcano High, which is hand-drawn. I don't know what kind of game it is, so help me out here, guys.
I'm pretty sure it's a visual novel.
That was a pregnant pause.
I was like, I'm going to guess visual novel style. I don't know.
What do you call Oxenfree?
I'd say that's an adventure game, isn't it? Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be that. Going to be more of like an adventure game. Time management maybe thrown in there, but I don't know. I was sold. It's so weird.
Then they end it with it's an end of an era.
So I'm guessing the meteoroid hits everyone.
Yeah, you're graduating high school knowing that the world is going to end.
I think that's a cool conceit. I just, again, there's not enough for me to be like, and also, I'm so excited that there's a bunch of games coming for PS5, and this is actually a PS4, PS5 game. It's on both. Even though it's coming in 2021, they said it's going to come to PS4 as well. But it's not, for a PS5 reveal event, it's not like a game you look at and say, damn, that PS5 looks great.
Yeah. I think this goes to show that this event, they weren't only looking for games that were like truly showing off the power of the PS5. They were going for a breadth of styles and genres.
Right.
This goes back to what Larry said earlier about how they had just wide variety of stuff. This is a game that I'm sitting there going, what the fuck, as I'm watching it, and I'm pretty much, I'm passing on this one. This is not my jam at all.
Yep, I mean, there's something for everyone, and not everything's going to be for you, and that's totally cool.
Yeah, I don't know when I would actually get it, but I'm curious. My interest is peaked. I will play weird games, so just because they're weird.
It kind of reminds me of some of the old LucasArts Scum games, like Full Throttle and Indiana Jones.
Yep. It feels like a very much more modern take on those, which hopefully it is. That'd be really cool. But yeah, go next. I don't know. Oddworld.
Yeah, I was gonna say next one's Oddworld.
I have never played an Oddworld.
Neither have I.
I don't care about Oddworld. So
it looked good. I thought that the destruction in the environments and it looked like it had a lot of shit going on again. That maybe it's not possible on the PS4. But Brad, you played Oddworld before?
No, I never did, but
All
you know,
right.
could be time to dive in.
Looks good. I don't know.
I mean, I was like, is this Lemmings? Sort of like that's kind of what I was thinking a little bit. Because I've never played one, so I don't know what's going on in this game. And if it's Lemmings, because as I said, you see a bunch of them running around, and it kind of feels like you're trying to use the others to get from point A to point B. Again, not really my jam, but I'll wait and see.
It's a Soul Storm, Oddworld Soul Storm.
Yeah, don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Take us forward.
The next one, which we saw back in E3 last year, Ghostwire Tokyo. Just difference this time, instead of just a cutscene, you actually get gameplay, which looks insane from the first person. I couldn't even tell exactly what's going on. You're hunting ghosts in Tokyo while your hands move to cast spells? I don't know.
Your guess is as good as mine, man. I was more impressed by the previous reveal than this one, so I don't know. I kind of got lost on this one.
I mean, looking at the footage now, it looks like a pretty accurate assessment. Just Doctor Stranging your way through Tokyo.
Yeah. Yes. This is one that I'd probably wait for reviews and hands-on.
It does. It kind of reminds me of the Raiden Metal Gear spinoff, because every time they take out a ghost, they rip their soul or spirit out.
Is that Revengeance?
Metal Gear Revengeance.
Yeah.
I'm watching this and I'm thinking of the anime Mob Psycho, essentially.
Yeah, kind of a lot of stuff like that's what it feels very inspired by, that type of stuff.
It looks rough to me.
I think so too.
And I don't know if that's the right. I think that's the right way to put it. It looks a little rough around the edges. I'm curious, but this is one that I'm definitely going to wait to see how this pans out over time.
I agree. When I was watching, I thought it was the roughest of all the reveals, and part of it's just because it's just such quick cutting between different pieces that I'm not really sure what's happening until we get to the hands and the spells and whatever else. But like that model of the headless, whatever it was, ghost or whatever, like just seemed not ready for prime time. It just kind of stood out to me.
It looks like it could be on this gen to me.
Yes. I agree.
I think it probably is going to be.
That might be it. Yeah.
It was announced last year, not as a PS5 game, but I have a feeling it's going to be cross-gen, most likely.
And they say 2021, so coming 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bethesda.
Yeah, Bethesda's
publishing it, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me also because Tango is the one that does Evil Within, and those are like straight horror games, and obviously there's horror elements to this, but it seems a little more action-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. It felt a little rough compared to the other things. Next was Jet: The Far Shore, which for me, I was like, what is this game coming up? And then they flashed Super Brothers on it. This is the first game Super Brothers has done since Sword and Sorcery.
Yep.
Which
was 2011, right?
Thematic pixel art, really good pixel art, great music, really cool mechanics overall for that entire game. But I was not expecting something like this out of them. And I feel like this kind of does what they do, just in 3D in a lot of ways. Just super atmospheric audio, very minimalist style.
I was getting a little bit of No Man's Sky vibes.
A little bit.
Yeah, I heard someone describe it as No Man's Sky without the procedural generation. And I was like, oh, that is kind of appealing.
That could be good if there's depth to the gameplay.
Yeah.
That's my only issue with No Man's Sky is there is an enormous amount of content. Unfortunately, it's only about 3 inches deep. So if they could give me like a cool exploration, spacey exploration game, atmospheric, that has some mechanical depth to it, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice.
But I don't have a lot more to say about this one. It was just shocking that it was Super Brothers. It was not. Next is Godfall, which we had seen
multiple times.
This is the first game was revealed for PS5.
Yeah,
they showed it
right.
on some stream and said this is going to be a PS5 game.
Yeah.
Don't remember where that was at.
Yeah, I was saying we've known there's going to be PS5 and PS4 as I recall too. It's supposed to be cross-gen.
Oh, okay.
I think. Don't quote me on that. Shit.
Checking to see. No, PS5 and PC. Not gonna be.
Oh, interesting.
PS4.
Really?
Gearbox Publishing?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Well, the
announced
description
it for PS5 and Windows in late 2020 launch game.
Oh, wow. So this year. Well, it has just the description here on the GameSpot article we have up is it features intense melee combat using a variety of weapons as well as supernatural and science fiction elements. You'll be able to unlock godlike armor to defeat powerful foes. I don't know. It just seems like a
Whoa.
what?
The devs, Counterplay Games, their previous game was Duelist.
Oh,
This card, the tactical card game thing.
right. That's the game that you got into on the Steam, I think.
Yeah, I played it a bunch.
To
I'm
me,
really
this
surprised.
looks like a souped-up God of War.
Kind of. Way
And
more
not
just straight action.
PS4
Like,
God of War. I'm talking like
yeah.
PS3
The
God of War.
old gods. Yeah, I totally agree there.
I was like, I didn't see a main character carrying ashes up the top of the mountain.
No. What God of War used to be before
Yeah.
they revamped it and made it better. Which
It's
that's not to say that God of War 1, 2, and 3 is bad. It's just very much it's
the
not very
Donovan
deep.
version.
Yeah, it's not a deep game. It's a fun game, but Larry, you should love them because it's a button masher.
I have played 3 a couple of times and just never could finish it. It was just not enough story for me, I guess. But yes, I could.
Of the
mash
first
buttons.
ones, 2 was my favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
2 is pretty good.
Really damn good. From a pure like, hey, we're gonna do the like
3 was actually probably the weakest.
the Greek gods as like over the top action movie, and it kind of just nailed its aesthetic all the way through. Yeah, 3 was probably one of the weaker ones. It was still fine, but it wasn't like.
It felt well put together and
yes.
fun, but just
That's
not
the
enough.
thing about it. It is well put together and fun. 2 was just something a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 is it's fun, well put together, but after like 2 hours, you're pretty much okay. I've done the whole game essentially. Whereas 2 felt like you still were kind of evolving a little bit as you went on, and it was more enjoyment. 1, so if I had to do, I'd be like 2, 3, and then or 2, 1, and then 3 would be the way I would order them before.
I can't talk about 1. Goddamn, climb me out of Hades.
Yeah, that was
With
good.
spike killers. I broke the controller to that. Oh, I broke the controller to that. I was so angry.
Don't one of those games start with you having sex with someone?
2,
Maybe 2? I don't remember.
2 or 3.
Yeah. Back to Godfall, though. I was reading it. It supports single player and up to 3 players in drop-in, drop-out co-op.
So what is this? Gonna be Diablo?
Yeah, looter slasher. It's a little bit more Diablo than.
I'm okay with that.
I'm
just
more
drop in.
interested now.
Yeah.
I am
Armor
100%
and
okay with
weapons.
Hey.
Yeah, that makes sense with all the armor talk. Get better armor.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, maybe Godfall should be our game instead of the other one. I'm just saying.
The game was inspired by the Stormlight Archive, the First Law, and the Foundation series.
Shut the fuck up. What did you just say?
The game's world is inspired by the Stormlight Archive.
Okay,
the
I'm there.
First
I'm
Law,
in. I'm in.
and
That's all I need.
The Foundation series. While the
Oh
game
my God.
is inspired by Monster Hunter series with its variety of weapons and combo mechanics. Yep, I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in.
Holy
Yep,
crap.
I want it. Dude, Stormlight Archive is amazing.
And Monster Hunter mechanics, I'm
World
totally down.
Amazing. I
Yes.
love World. I put,
Monster Hunter World.
how many
I've
hours
sunk-
did I put into
I
A
still
lot.
put
You
hours
put
into
a
that
lot.
game.
I stopped and I won't go back because I actually feel like I'd be. It's one of those games where it's like, oh, I put you down. I'm going to come back and I'm going to feel so bad because I can't play the game anymore.
Right.
But I did put like 200 hours into it.
That sounds about right.
That's when you make a new character and start over again.
No, can't do that.
So that you just wait for Godfall now, because fuck, that sounds great.
Stormlight Archive done by
Brandon
Sanderson. Okay.
It is really fucking good.
Which is an amazing series.
Dude, it's so fucking good. I've not read anything that's like been that engaging since Game of Thrones. It's not on the same level. Game of Thrones is like much deeper, but it's still really deep and really fucking like every chapter ends with something that's just like, what, huh? And just like another surprise and a twist.
And it keeps getting deeper with each book too.
Yeah, right. So let's turn this into a book podcast now. We've got a
Solar Ash.
Which
is the game from the guys who made Hyperlight Drifter.
The second I saw this, I was like, well, they say Hyperlight Drifter, but you see their creative style in it immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And Hyperlight Drifter was such an amazing game. That's one of my few successes. Well, we've had this conversation about Kickstarter. This was one I backed on Kickstarter, was Hyperlight. I have not been disappointed. I don't care what this game is. They've already got my money.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll play it.
Looks like Hyperlight Drifter in 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You beat that game, right, Anthony?
No, I didn't beat the last boss.
I have.
That's right.
I just destroyed by the last boss over and over. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
It was fine, though. I had a blast all the way through, though. It was a lot of, I just love their art style and their storytelling. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. When it arrives in 2021, so it'll be a while.
Yeah. Next game got me excited to go back and play Hitman 2, which is Hitman 3, which is surprising because Hitman 2 came out a year and a half ago, something like that. But Hitman 3, this is slated to come out January 2021, I think.
Yep, and not episodic.
Yeah, right. They ditched that model.
Yeah, they didn't show a ton in this. It was mostly more. This was probably one of the most biggest games that was here's just a very small tease. It's Hitman.
Yep.
But clearly they're going to show something at some other point in the future.
This is so great because IO Interactive basically bought the rights, bought Hitman from fucking Square when they weren't, that relationship went south. But man, those games, I heard on a podcast this week that I was going to ask you about when we got here. They were talking about how, they have the cities and they have, the different, missions for Agent 47 to complete, and you can complete it in a variety of ways and do a bunch of different side content. And it's they spend a lot of time building up the city, and then you just get dozens and dozens and dozens of hours out of the same sandbox. And it must be such an efficient way to develop a game, because you don't have to continue to make tons of different environments. You can really dig in on one deep environment and then just have a full game's worth of content in one fucking city. So I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what they do. They mine. They're not looking for you need the largest city out there, but if we give systemic interactions to the elements in the city, then you can do all sorts of crazy things with a smaller space, which is a ton of fun. I'm trying to think of the last one I played. I can't remember. I didn't play. I have some of the episodes. I just don't think I've played them of the last.
Oh my god, Hitman 1 was so good. And then Hitman 2. If you owned Hitman 1, you got Hitman 1 in the Hitman 2 engine, which was just looked better. You guys play, Brad, Travis? You play this?
Yeah, I played what was it, Blood Money and Absolution. I have, but I didn't get to the latest episodic tastings. I should probably start them up just to see what happens.
Yeah, just play in one level. It's an hour and a half to get through one mission. Get a feel for it.
Yeah, and those are games where they're far better off putting effort into the AI than they are large environments.
Yeah,
right. That's true.
I played them back in a long time ago. It's been years.
Yeah.
And I remember it was on I just built my new computer, so this had to been 15 plus years ago. And whatever graphics card I had, it didn't like it, so I had to tweak the files and everything to get it to finally work. I enjoyed the game. I think my problem turned into I spent so much time exploring instead of doing the actual mission but half the time the mission failed because someone got away, and I was like, "What?" I didn't even see my target because I was too busy running around the entire freaking map and not knowing where to go. I'll probably give this a shot just because the concept of it has always intrigued me. I've just never put a lot of time into them.
Yeah.
The next game on the list broke my fucking heart. It broke my heart. It's Astro's Playroom, which got me so fucking excited that it was following up on Astrobot, the VR game, which was just such an amazing 3D platformer. You can only play it in VR. This doesn't look like it's VR, and what I heard about later is that this is not exactly correct, but a tech demo for the new controller, where they have 5 different worlds, and each world is built around some specific feature of the controller for you to get a feel for how that, like the haptic triggers work or whatever else. And I'm worried that it's not really a full-fledged game, or that
it should just be a pack-in.
Oh my god! See, I thought this was a joke when I was watching. I thought it was just like some little thing that they threw in there just to show and not an actual game. If I turn out to be right on that, because that was just my assumption, I'm going to laugh. I'm sorry.
No, I think you're probably right, and it's so heartbreaking because Astrobot is amazing, like seriously fucking amazing. So to be able to have that game available to people who don't have a VR system to play that 3D platformer would be great, even just the Astrobot, the original one. So I thought this is what this was, and if it's not built out like a real full-fledged game, it's more of a tech demo, it's just, I'm going to cry. I really am.
Next, we have Old Devil Inside. Oh, go ahead if you have more to say on.
Oh, I was going to say they could always, sometimes they'd use it as a tech demo, then, Astrobot 2 is just not ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that's right.
And I assume that's right. VR stuff for PS5 yet, so.
When Astrobot was like just universally praised, there was no way they don't have a second one coming. I was just hoping this was like a way for people to get that experience without VR in a fully fledged game, and I'm not necessarily sure that it's a.
Next is Little Devil Inside. I have no clue what the hell this game's actually going to be. It was funny, the trailer, but unique art style. But
this game was originally conceived as a Wii U game.
Really?
It's been in development that long.
Wow.
Yep.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's not making me feel confident. Wow. Okay.
I didn't know what to think of this game. I didn't know what part of it was game and what part of it was story, what the deal was. It was funny and entertaining to watch, but I don't know if this is something I would ever
It was a Kickstarter back in 2015. When did they say you would get the game?
About 2.
June 2016.
Oh.
They massively underestimated their abilities.
They actually did it get shipped anywhere?
I don't think so. I think I've never heard of it. I think it looks good, and I think the comedic piece has some promise, because the old man is basically like I think he's reminiscing on his old adventuring life. Unless there's like a fucking animal monster adventure inside this old man's body that's fighting to come out. Not quite sure.
Oh, I'm sure I'm reading their update. It's a timed exclusive for the PS5, and they promised this game for other platforms when they took it as Kickstarter.
So basically, they ran out of money.
That's a bad one. Yes.
They ran out of money. Sony came in, saved their butts, and said, "We'll give you the rest of the money to do this, but we get to keep it for the X amount of time."
They raised.
Wow. People kickstarted that for Wii U or whatever else they wanted it on.
This is Shenmue 3 all over again.
Oh yeah.
And there's totally a dragon at the end of it that looks like it came from the Wii era, not just the Wii U.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm gonna go right to the end of that.
Yeah, it is.
I remember that from the video.
Right around 47:21 time mark.
47. All right. I think that the gameplay looks interesting, but yeah, it definitely looks.
So yeah,
there's a dragon. There's a dragon.
Their Kickstarter.
Oh yeah.
It originally said it was going to be on Steam, PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U.
Yeah, dude. This is.
Are you backing Kickstarter?
Oh, that is a Wii era dragon.
And this goes back to the conversation we had via text about Kickstarter.
This can happen.
Yep.
I don't
that's
know.
what-
I'm trying to think of what they actually showed originally and how much.
For the audience, the conversation we had on text over Kickstarter was just be careful because you never know.
Yeah.
You got to really research what you're
So
putting
I'm
money in.
looking here. They were asking an Australian, how much is 250,000 Australian dollars in US dollars?
Not that much.
Let's see.
Just for inflation and all that.
170,000 is what they asked. They raised 306, so about $200,000. For the type of game they're making, I think the big question there is mostly if they did this Kickstarter in 2015 and said that they would have this game done in like a little over a year. That's
Jeez.
when I talk about red flags, that's one of the red flags I look at. Is can you accurately give timelines?
Right.
No, you can't.
Anywho,
Yeah.
this
Anybody care about NBA 2K21?
I just want to say this is the best trailer because this is exactly what the NBA is like right now. You're just alone in a fucking gym because of coronavirus. So it's just a fucking social distancing simulator. Other than that, his sweat looks good.
It's fun tech.
They're usually good examples of just what actually modeling a real person is going to be like.
Yeah,
And to that extent, it looked pretty good.
it did. And the lighting was fantastic.
Yeah.
it's textbook demo. We're gonna give you a very highly specialized CGI scene and tell you this is gameplay when it really isn't. Yeah.
Well, it actually could be, but the thing that's different here is it could be rendering in real time. It is only having to model one character in an empty environment for the most part.
Right.
Most basketball
Just like
games
a
are
light
not
box.
this.
I always find it hilarious that at the bottom of the screen it says actual PlayStation 5 pre-alpha NBA 2K21 footage. And I'm sitting there going, that's not how the game's going to play when you get a whole court full of people, dude.
No,
I'm telling you,
they can't have them that detailed.
No, if it's NBA 2020 pandemic level, yeah, it'll be one dude playing against himself.
It's true.
But look how beautiful it is.
You can have two. You can have one on each side of the court, and they're just hucking Hail Marys back and forth.
And you're going to play in a backed-up third-person view that you're going to miss most of that detail anyway until they zoom in.
Right. It's true.
Next comes Bug Snacks.
Holy shit.
What the hell? That's all I gotta say.
Holy shit.
I think that's the only reason this game was in here, was just to give, hey, we've shown a lot of other things. Let's just put one in here that's just completely off the wall.
Holy shit.
Strawberry with googly eyes?
Strawberry with googly eyes. Ribs walking around like crabs.
Otter who gets a strawberry hand and talks like the freaking crocodile hunter.
Yep.
Why does it have to be Australian? Anyways.
Why not?
I hope it's an Australian dev.
Walking sandwiches.
Is it really?
No, I hope it is. I don't know.
Octodad. The creators of Octodad, which was already a strange game to begin with.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I never bought Octodad either. I just appreciate that there are things out there that are just so off the wall. And
again, it's another game my daughter would look at and be like, yes.
Yeah,
she would just be so fucking entertained by this weird shit.
It's on Epic Games Store already. I mean, it's as a coming soon, but it's on Epic Games.
Interesting.
And it's even more there is a French fry spider with the ketchup cup as his body. That there was a walking hamburger at one point
That's stretching the limit of what a snack is. A hamburger to me is not a snack.
The centipede is a foot-long sandwich in sections.
Yes, also not a snack.
It's because a hamburger takes you 4 hours to eat.
That's true.
It's true. They are not based in Australia. They're based in Chicago.
Ah, damn. Okay. Shit.
I don't know. It's super, super random and weird. But it was a nice. I kind of feel like intermixed oddness to the whole lineup.
Yep. It was a good spot for it, I thought.
Because the next one has been something people have been asking for a long time. Demon Souls remake.
I've only ever heard this name and never seen it written for some reason, so I thought it was Demon Souls, but apparently not.
No, it's Demons.
Demons. The demon owns the souls.
Got it. Okay, because there's one demon with multiple souls.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So this is Travis's jam. This is his wheelhouse.
Oh, just because I love like the Demon Soul, Dark Soul. I love From Software's games. I don't think, with the exception of Dark Souls 2, that game can rot in hell as far as I'm concerned. But that's for very different reasons. It's not the gameplay; it was other reasons that I just wanted to smash that game against the wall. I played ungodly amounts of hours in Demon Souls and Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, blah blah blah. Will I get this eventually? Yes. Just because I want to see the remake and what they've improved upon that game, because that game was amazing, but it did have some major limitations of the system and its technology at the time. But I'm not paying full price for this. I've already got everything out of it I need.
Yeah, I'm just looking at screenshots, though. This looks incredible. Holy shit, does this look good?
It really does.
I didn't think it was Demon's Souls at first, because holy crap, they're making another one, and then when it popped up Demon's Souls, I was like, wait, does that mean we're getting Demon's Souls 2 instead of a Dark Souls, or are we getting a remastered? So they took what they did and they made it look like an entirely new game, but once I figured out it was a remastered, don't get me wrong, I will eventually end up with it. It's just not something that I'm going to be bashing down the door for right away.
Right.
Yeah. I think they're really they're calling it a full remake. Like they're just rebuilding the thing from the ground up.
They're gonna have to.
Yeah,
This was a PS2 game.
Well, it's usually what Bluepoint does anyways, is they build their own engine, right? They build it from the ground up, or using their engine build it from the ground up.
PlayStation 3.
Was it
early
PS3?
Yeah,
it's PS3.
I can't remember. I just remember it being really early and looking at the old school graphics. Like the dragon at the very end, if you compare the dragon now to what it was originally, you were like, no, that's not the same game at all. But so it's awesome that they're doing it. I just don't know if it's something.
And this isn't From. It is Bluepoint.
Yeah.
So as I think I said in our chatting, that means From is doing other things, and my hope is we get a Bloodborne 2 and an Armored Core.
Armored Core would be lovely.
It's been too long.
Far too long.
I get why it's been too long, because they've been making shit tons of money on the Soulsborne stuff. So
give me a Bloodborne 2, please, 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 please.
I have to believe Sony wants that. And the thing is Sony, knowledge that when talking to people, Sony typically doesn't just do one and done deals with studios for exclusivities. They usually will sign for at least, and especially the time that they were signing stuff at the beginning of PS4, they were asking studios to do minimum one with 2 more games optioned. So I can only imagine Sony's like, here, From, we'll give you a shit ton of money. Please make this.
Yeah, because we've had the conversation before, and I flat out told you Bloodborne is my number one game of PS4. Period. There is nothing that comes close to it. It's just the way it is.
That came out early too, didn't it?
2015.
2015. It was like it was like a year and a half into.
Yeah.
I've played that. See, the problem is that From Software did Sekiro as well, and I don't think that came out on. Was that an Xbox or was that a PlayStation exclusive?
Oh, I thought it was everywhere. I didn't think it was
Can't
exclusive.
remember.
Yeah, no, I got it on PC.
I know it's on PC.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's on PC, it's probably.
It's on Xbox One as well.
Yeah. So then that means that Sony probably still has their other exclusive or two in their pocket. But yeah, Bloodborne is still that's a game that I will still boot up to this day and build a new character and put hours into a new build. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, Demon Souls, I will most likely end up with it, but I don't know if it'll be, depending on what Blue Point does, or if they're to get my money right out the door, they're gonna have to say, hey, this is what we're doing different to it.
Yeah, so, that's the thing with single player games. It's too easy to buy cheap because you get the same experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Give it a couple months, especially the Sony exclusives. I mean, I know that it's not like Nintendo where they keep the prices up. Whenever Nintendo does a sale, like right now, it's only ever $40. They never go below it for their first party titles. But these kinds of experiences, I feel like Spider-Man dropped down to $20 pretty quickly.
I got it for
after release.
$30 for the complete package within a year after it was released. Exactly, all the DLC and everything. I was like, $30, all Spider-Man, done here.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Next game on the list was Deathloop from Arcane Leon, which I thought looked fucking spectacular.
I mean, it's definitely Arcane.
Oh yeah.
I watched it. I was like, yep, this is the Dishonored devs, totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was trying to. It looks cool, very stylish. Here's someone brought up that it may has multiplayer.
It does, because you're an assassin going after these 8 targets or whatever, but then there's another assassin that can pop in that's going after you, and you go after each other to get after the targets, which is kind of like happened in Hitman, where another Agent 47 could pop into a map and then take you out as you're trying to take out your targets. So it does have that kind of multiplayer component. They didn't really talk much about it until after this event. Arcane, I think, dug into it a little bit.
So this kind of feels a little bit like From Software's trick with the invasions as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposedly this is coming to Doom as well, something like this.
Doom Eternal?
Yeah. I thought they announced something. I was hearing rumbles of where you can hop in and control a demon against somebody.
I haven't read that, but that would totally make sense the way they built the multiplayer mode.
Which would also explain why they went with the new anti-cheat system that massively backfired on them.
Yeah, they had to unwind. Was it Denuvo?
Yep, they used Denuvo's new version of the anti-hacking, anti-cheating system, and major backlash, and they removed it within a week after implementing it because people were just so over it.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a PvPvE multiplayer mode. 2-player controlled demons against 1 person.
I thought that already existed.
Is it out now? It probably is out now.
I thought that was their
the
release.
Multiplayer. The invasion mode was getting released later.
Yeah,
I was invading the campaign.
Yeah, what you just described, I thought was what was the multiplayer released right out the door.
Yeah, invasion mode. They have not.
Well, anyways.
But either way, yes, you could with your friends while they're playing the single player.
Yes.
The Deathloop thing looks very interesting. It's something that I will most likely end up with unless it just gets bashed against the wall with horrible reviews.
Will I play it on PS5? No, I'll probably play this on PC. Because
of the shooter?
FPS.
Yeah.
FPS. Yeah, it might be. Now that I can actually play things on a PC, that might be where I go.
Right, change your...
And that's something else the consoles need to do a lot better, is just offer keyboard and mouse.
I know.
Xbox does
they have so much wireless now, it's ridiculous.
Well, there's workarounds for the XIM or whatever that thing is.
I've almost bought one for
Destiny?
No, just any FPS. So, we'll take Destiny as an example. I've played it on console since its release. You played it on console for whenever you did play it initially.
I bought a PS4 for Destiny. I've had it since release. I
played 40 minutes of it on my PC and was like, holy crap, I don't know if I could ever play this game on the console again.
Yeah.
It's almost a completely different game. It handles so much better.
Yeah.
And it's been so long since I've had a gaming PC that I've forgotten how much better FPSs are on a PC.
Just so much easier to control.
Everything about it. You notice details in there that you wouldn't even notice before. You can pick out enemies faster because the graphics are better. The frame rates are better. Your depth of view is better. Your control, your ability to handle things. I'm using weapons in Destiny that I've never used in before because they're just so ungodly and yieldy to use. And on my PC, I'm sitting there going, yeah, I can legitimately use this and I'm getting even more value out of the game than what I did on the console. So, yeah.
Next up is Resident Evil Village, or Resident Evil 8. They did their nice little VILL, making the 8 in it.
Right.
Which looks very different than other Resident Evils. At least setting-wise.
Yeah, I don't follow Resident Evil very closely. The only first one I ever played was 7, so I don't know if I can speak much to it other than I thought 7 was fucking great. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how it shakes out.
Yeah, the other ones are far more campy.
Yeah.
7 was not. I didn't find it that campy. So.
Yeah, it started off with some of the worst voice acting known to gaming in Resident Evil 1, and then just got more campy with the ridiculous stuff Wesker would do, and then 7 went full kind of true horror and lost all the campiness.
Yeah, I can't tell much on this. I'm probably never going to play it. I don't play horror games.
Yeah.
So
Spooky games.
Will not be playing it. I've never picked up a single Resident Evil game. I'm not disappointed in that in any way, shape, size, or form. I remember watching you play them back in the day, Anthony, in high school.
I know I played 1 and 2 back in high school.
Yeah, I remember you playing one of them. I can't remember which it was. I was like, you know what? This is just not my thing. And as we've had the conversation before, I stopped playing Uncharted because it jumped the shark as far as I'm concerned and threw in zombies. It's just not my jam.
Yeah. That was 1 though, right? You stopped playing 1?
Yeah, I haven't played any of them since then because of that.
Play 2.
I know. This is a whole other conversation for another time.
No, let's go down the rabbit hole.
No, we're not. We've got plenty of other things to talk about. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
So, I mean, it comes out in 2021 sometime. It's going to be on... I think this is one that's probably on everything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
But if these are the games that I play with my friend Ted. Just like play together. So when we die, we switch the controller back and forth, and it's less spooky when there's someone next to you. I played PT with him. I played Resident Evil 7 with him, which we did in just one day.
Well, you're not going to do an Event Horizon type deal?
Oh, God.
That's a movie, right? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you have.
I have?
Yeah, you watched it at my place back in high school.
Oh, God, okay.
It was like pouring. It was like we watched it at night thinking it wasn't a horror movie. It was hella late at night. We were the only ones there, and it was storming outside.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was a bad choice.
Pragmata is the next game. Does anyone know what this is?
No. I
thought it was Death Stranding 2 at first.
So did I, actually.
Like, hey, is this Kojima? Is this Kojima logo going to show up at some point? It didn't. It's arriving, they said, in 2022, and so I don't know what this game is.
I thought
it looked pretty-ish.
I thought it was some sort of Death Stranding. That's
Absolutely.
literally what I thought, because I was like, I've never played Death Stranding, but just watching all the effects and some of the way it just looked like it, I was like, okay, but I have no idea what this is.
Capcom, that's all I really know.
Really weird with the little girl and the astronaut ending up on the moon all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's far more of a realistic spacesuit than futuristic.
Yeah, not Kojima, inspired by Kojima, it seems, which is probably not better.
Walking in space.
That green net thing that helped them not get smashed by the satellite was kind of cool, but otherwise I'm not. Whatever. This is so far away that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
what's in
the
here.
Wikipedia page has 2 sentences. That's it.
It
says 2022.
This I equate to the same thing as like the Project Athia, where it's showing something off, and what we'll get, if we'll get it, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the next one, which they closed with, Horizon Forbidden West. I'm sold. Day one, I'm in this game.
Indeed.
Like nothing. It looks incredible, and the water looks incredible.
It does.
And there's going to be swimming and all that. I don't know. Like, it just looks like a true sequel to that game and the next gen level of that game. The density, like we talked about, like that this console shows, is that you can have really dense environments, and these environments were really dense in the foreground, and like the amount of foliage that was going on in the foreground, but it doesn't really go away as you go to the background. It just stays that dense.
This was the game I was alluding to earlier about showing the power of the system. Like Ratchet and Clank does it, but I think this one does it to a whole nother level. Just because of how much they slammed into it and how much is going on. This game, I haven't even finished the first Horizon, but even without finishing it, this one's already sitting there going, yeah, I have to have this game.
I thought it looked amazing. I just was questioning how much of it was like pre-rendered cutscene versus like, was there any gameplay? It seemed like a lot of cinematics to me. That looked gorgeous, but I'm not sure what represents gameplay well enough for me to decide. Like even like Aloy like riding the Strider or whatever, or swimming underwater or whatever else. Like, is that gameplay? Is that cutscene?
I mean,
because if that's gameplay,
come up. Gorilla has usually been pretty good about showing off when they do show off stuff that is what they actually intend to produce. I really wish there had been a section where it switched to gameplay. Like when the PS4 launched and they showed Killzone.
Yep.
Is it Shadowfall? I think that's the one that launched. Where everyone was like, oh, this is pre-rendered, and then they just jumped in and played. And it just proved that it was like, no, this is not pre-rendered. We actually made this. They didn't do this here. Part of me thinks they might have if it had been an on-stage event. We're not getting that right now. So, and honestly, I think this is not going to be anywhere near launch. I think this is 2021 now, looking at it.
Yeah. Because I agree with Travis for sure. This is the most impressive one of the whole piece, if that's any of that's gameplay. And I'm not convinced that it's gameplay.
I mean, you get to fight giant robot Moomakill. That's awesome.
Yeah. The world building just from the imagery is so exciting. The Golden Gate Bridge all buckled down.
I know. Once I saw the Golden Gate Bridge, I was like, okay. I mean, I enjoyed Horizon, but not as much as I think the rest of you guys. But I'm still interested in this one, partially because of the West environment to explore. Broken down San Francisco sounds pretty cool.
I mean, this is the thing about it is, I don't know if this is pre-rendered cutscene. Like, I was looking at screenshots from the actual thing, and they're like captured on PS5. It could be still cutscene, but rendered in real time.
Yeah.
Gameplay rendered in real time cutscene, which is still pretty impressive. Which I think they did a lot of on the PS4. I don't know if they actually used pre-recorded CG, if it was all just being rendered cutscenes.
Yeah, and
can't remember.
If you switch up Aloy's costume, it usually shows up in the cutscene. So I'd imagine they'd want to keep that.
Yeah, if your costume's changing, but that stuff is not pre-rendered. It's all being rendered on the fly. So, yeah, I at least give Guerrilla at least the benefit of the doubt here that they tend to not show things that they cannot actually have playing in the game.
Well, when that's the case, then I definitely agree with Travis. That's the most impressive game in the whole thing.
Big old robot turtle thing. God, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was like, is this God of War?
Yeah, I know.
Big old turtle. It pops up.
I don't know. It's impressive looking.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new console launch. This is the last time you want to do a pre-rendered cutscene show off.
Right.
The desert and the sand. Oh, God, that looked good.
It looks good, man. It does bring us to
like I said, I hope that you get to climb everything in this game.
That's what I texted you guys. Like, if that allows us to climb everything, I will be so happy.
I would feel like it's going to, just based on how Aloy was climbing in the trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
And because of how many years have gone by since really Breath of the Wild changed how people think about what you should be climbing in games.
Right.
And now you have, what is it? AC Odyssey, you can pretty much climb everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's a thing now. So I feel like they will continue that trend and just be like, okay, well, we got to give people the freedom to just climb at this point.
Man, if that footage of Aloy jumping into water and swimming is in game, that's ridiculous.
It is. I agree.
Yeah.
This did such a better job than Xbox to show what the next gen consoles are going to be capable of. It really did. Like, there's so much new. Like, I know that like the jump in graphics is noticeable, but not like the big jump that we had between PS2 and 3 and 3 and 4 or whatever. But the things that you can do on screen at the same time, and how quick things load, like how many particles are all flying all over the fucking place, the depth of detail and richness is like enough for me to call it next gen and be happy with it.
And people were doing, I mean, I'll trust Digital Foundry to a point on this, and they were trying to determine which games were actually like 4K or not, and they were like, Horizon, they were pretty sure was done in just pure 4K, like not scaled up 4K, actual pixel 4K. Because I think they said you can get that trailer and run it as 4K through like YouTube now. So it's impressive. Not that I have a 4K TV or anything to play it with, but it'll be good for people that do.
I will have to give that a look.
Speaking of a look, we have a interesting look for the PS5, which they revealed. What do you guys think of how it looks?
Fine. I mean,
it looks like a console, honestly.
As long as it doesn't sound like a motorcycle going by my house, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of what it looks like. I mean, it looks like a big console.
I mean, I've seen new PC cases for a long time. It's no more ridiculous than half the PC cases that are out there that aren't just squares.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Travis, did you say the Eye of Sauron?
Yeah, you put a marble on top of it and you get the Eye of Sauron.
Jesus Christ, I can't unsee that now.
Dude.
Yes, thank you, Travis.
Think about it, like with the little wings.
I am thinking about it, thanks.
You're welcome.
We're going to put an Arduino in there and make it have a little orange light that follows you around. It's going to be great.
Nice.
Oh my god, I want to do that now so bad. That is exactly what this looks like, except for the disk drive. Even Sauron is symmetrical.
One.
Yeah.
I know, but I think I'm convinced that the functionality is more important than how it looks.
Well, this is my thing. I don't dislike it. It looks the way it looks. I think I read somewhere it says it doesn't matter how it looks, you're still going to buy it, which is factually correct.
That's true.
My biggest complaint is still the controller. White on controllers turns yellow over time.
It's gonna. Yeah, I'm hoping that they have alternate colors.
I'm hoping they have those alternate colors that I sent you guys in the text, specifically the Spider-Man one, because that'd be absolutely amazing. But I think the other thing that really bothered me about this, was we get a quick glimpse of the back of the controller, and there is nothing there. When is Sony going to pick up and realize they need to have an elite gaming controller? Not just these back button attachment. Right, but you got.
We're not going to pack those in.
No, but you got to.
Let third parties do it.
Stop letting third parties do it. Just do it yourselves. Scuff is crap. Let's be real.
The fact that Sony for the PS4 put out a bazillion different colors, like they're definitely not gonna just have white. But I agree with you. Like I just look at that and think real dirty, real fast.
Oh yeah.
And I keep my hands clean. I don't eat while I'm playing and whatever else, and it's still gonna get fucking
you're just gonna
sweat. So
just normal oil.
Oil on your hands are gonna turn it yellow and yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's get my Dorito hands on that.
There you go.
Oh shit.
I don't know.
I think that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say I just there's some kerfluffle about the way that the USB ports are on the front. There's one USB-C and one USB whatever the regular one is called, USB 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if that's a big deal for me. Is it for you guys?
No.
Yeah. No.
I'm like
one's charger controller, one's probably to plug in a fucking external hard drive, I assume.
So they're likely having the camera is going to be USB. The wireless headset will have a dongle.
Yeah, there's
hopefully they get rid of
back.
Bluetooth on those.
There should be more on the back, right?
You won't be plugging that stuff into the front. This is just like honestly, I mean, I'm thinking of what I plug into the front of my PS4, the controller charging, or USB drive. And I think having a normal Type A USB and Type C USB is probably good there, because those are the most common ones people will be using.
I would say on the PS4 Pro, the front are USB 3, and the back is a USB 3.1, which is why I have my external hard drive plugged into the back, because solid state, blah, blah, blah. And then on the front, I have a dedicated 10-foot cord to my controller because I play wired. I don't play Bluetooth.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Zero.
Just has delay.
Zero delay. Zero lag input. Yeah. Plus, I play in my office. I'm like less than 6 feet away from the TV anyway, so might as well. And then I have my headphones plugged into the front. So, but to me, the number of ports in the front is not going to. I guarantee there's more in the back. So I don't know why it's an issue.
I think people are looking for things to have issues about. For example, the disk drive makes it asymmetrical.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
But it just looks like it's built for airflow.
Yeah, it totally
which is great.
Yep. For me, form follows function. Does it work? Then you move on to the design. If it does not work, it was a bad design.
Right.
They've talked about Cerny whenever he did his thing in March and was talking through it, and it's sounded like at some point, well, they're going to show it, but they were probably going to do a teardown at some point, so you can see more of the internal cooling going on. Because he was talking about that in his tech of like the necessity of how they needed to change the cooling thing so they could do what they wanted to do with how they wanted to run the processor and the graphics card.
No matter what, both of them and Microsoft need to figure out cooling better than what they've done previously.
Yes. Well, Microsoft figured it out by making it a big cube and just having a lot of vents everywhere.
Yep.
Hopefully. I mean, until we get our hands on it,
that's
we don't
true.
know.
We don't know either one of these if they're going to work how we want them to. But they are both trying to have more air throughput.
Because to Brad's point, dude, my PS4 sounds like a freaking jet engine took off half the time.
Oh my god, mine's crazy.
All the time.
God of War or Spider-Man, fucking just going off like crazy. I keep wondering, am I just playing really demanding games, or does it do this too for like really fucking simple games?
It does it. It doesn't matter. It does it all the time. I've played Journey, which was a last-gen game, and it still does it. And I'm sitting there going, Journey is not a taxing game on the system at all. So it just does it.
Well, the fact that so many things out there are saying, here's how to make your PlayStation 4 Pro better. Replace the thermal paste and pads. So how did they screw up thermal paste and pads so badly if that really solves it for so many people?
Right.
Cost cutting.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same. I put an SSD in my PS4 Pro, and it cut my load times in half. Damn near.
Yeah.
Like, really?
That's pretty nice.
$100 drive, and I go from 12-second load time to 6-7 second load time. Come on, Sony. You tell me you couldn't have done that and raised the cost on these things a little bit?
No,
I would have paid an extra $50.
Yeah, they just wanted to hit that $400 price point. They wanted to be $100 less than a.
So that begs the question: what's going to happen with this gen? Because they're
both going to be very expensive. That's what's going to happen.
Is it going to be PS2 levels? Because that hurt them hard right out the door with PS2.
PS3 was $600.
Yep.
Why do I keep getting those PS2?
PS2 was expensive.
They were $299.
It also was the best DVD player on the market at the time.
Yeah, the PS3 is with the hubris one where they're like, let's do it for
$600. It had the full backwards compat. I think it was they had a $500 and a $600 SKU, and the $500 was just a smaller hard drive.
Well, that's what we're going to see with this. The one, I think, who was it? Eurogamer or someone basically talked to Sony and was like, $20. That drive is $20. So it's not going to bring the price down significantly.
Between the digital and the disc one? No, I don't think that's where the cost difference is there. I think they're going to probably be the same price. The digital one is just going to have more space, more disk drive space.
Oh. I was thinking that because they have these two different ones, they are going to have the disc drive one be $500 and try to do the digital one for $400 and kind of eat the price difference.
Maybe. I don't know.
I could see them doing that to undercut Xbox, but they're both waiting for each other to put the price out there. So
yeah. But the thing we did not get, no price or release date. So any of that pre-order crap that came out, all speculation.
I think 500. I think it's going to be 500.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, $499 is definitely where I think it's going to hit.
I think that's what they're aiming for. Let's see if they get it there.
I could see them doing 500 for the disc one and $449 for the digital one, just to get that little bit lower price point. But then they showed all the accessories, right? Fucking double controllers, the charging stand, the media control, the headphones. Which this time I'm finally gonna get I'm gonna get wireless headphones because I just use them so much. I don't know what was the other thing?
Camera.
The camera.
Ah, yeah, the camera. That's right.
So yeah.
I'm gonna
Another thing that they didn't mention about hardware is an updated version of the PSVR.
Yeah, I bet they're saving it for another.
No, I'm hoping they do, because that's what I'm kind of holding off for. Is the current gen is just, I don't see the point in buying the VR system now when we're so close to next gen system console.
Yeah, right,
that I'm kind of hoping that here within the next couple of months they announce the VR 2, because then it's like even more of a selling point for me to get the console immediately to where I can get my hands on the VR as quickly as possible.
Well, the other thing that they've said is that PSVR is, I was looking it up,
compatible.
It is completely compatible. Like the current version is going to be completely usable. I don't. So.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, are they going to announce an updated version, or are they just going to hold on to that for a couple of years still? Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
One thing
that was the whole thing.
I'm rewatching this, and there's something that popped up, and I remember seeing this when it was live, and I wanted to ask. At the hour 13 minute and 13 seconds, there's a character that shows up that reminds me of the old Hunter from Bloodborne. I was just curious if anyone else had seen that and what their thoughts were on it.
1 hour and 13 in.
1 hour 13:13.
It's really quick. It's not familiar to me, but I didn't play Bloodborne.
Like I have it paused at that moment. That's the only reason why I can see him.
1 hour 13:13. 12, 11, 12.
Yeah, silver hair,
13.
hat, glasses, leather gloves.
No, that's from Resident Evil.
See, I've never played Resident Evil, so I don't know.
I think it was literally from the trailer they just showed.
It was from the trailer. Yeah.
I didn't see that part. Dang it.
Yeah.
Because it looks exactly like the old Hunter.
Yep, that's Resident Evil, because also when people were talking about Resident Evil 8, they showed that picture. Sorry.
Ooh.
No, I don't think there's anything in here they didn't show.
Anyway.
I am so interested to play with those controllers, though, to see how those fucking triggers feel. Those adaptive.
We'll figure it out.
Feedback. Yeah.
I will probably put trigger stops in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Unless they have that built in somehow.
I would hope so. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, cool. I think we might skip what we've been playing since this has been a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah.
And we all probably got to get to bed and such.
This is episode. So.
Say what?
I have Persona 5
Jesus Christ. Of course you do.
Yes, I do.
I'm probably going to get back to Spider-Man, actually. Now that you say that.
I have some fake Forge running to do.
Nice. Still.
No. Actually, no.
I got fixed that yet?
No. I got to 1050 earlier, so I don't actually have to do it anymore. But that's, Nice. AFK Forge running for the win.
I was actually going through Shadow Complex on PC.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
It's been a long time since I played that game.
It's a nice Metroidvania-ish game, right?
All
right, well, this is episode 246 of Prof and Dev Play Games, talking about the future of gaming PS5. There's Anthony, Brad, Travis, and me. If you like our podcast, please tell your friends. If you don't like it, please tell them as well, because I'll probably listen anyways. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Bye.